What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? How y'all doing today? Doing an earlier show today. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Let me know if my mic and everything is okay. Somebody said whatever one Jackson State in. Yeah, so this is kind of like a follow-up to the video that I did earlier in the week. Well, that I did Friday. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, cool. All right, so this is the follow-up to the video I did earlier where I gave my top 5 of the games that I'm most excited to see. And I want to get y'all input. I want to see what games y'all excited to see. I'm gonna open up the phone line so y'all can call in and let everybody know, what games y'all thinking about. I also want to talk about something else too. Like it was a comment on their video. They got mad at me because I said Jackson State and Grambling were iconic brands. So someone disagreed that Jackson State is an iconic brand. I want to know how y'all feel about that. Am I wrong for saying Jackson State was an iconic brand? And I want that person to call up tonight so he can clarify himself why he think Jackson State is an iconic brand. What's going on, ES? Bama State versus Alabama and them. Grambling versus JSU, Grambling versus Arkansas State. So Steve St. Felix said I'm wrong. I want you to call up, Steve, because I want you to clarify that with everybody why you think Jackson State is an iconic brand. I want to know. I want to know. I want an explanation for why y'all think that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be collabing with CFL pretty soon. Me and him talk. We'll be doing something pretty soon. So yeah, we'll get on that before the season start. We'll be working together and stuff like that. Texas Southern versus Jackson State. I didn't think that would be a game that people be looking forward to. I mean, Houston, that's a good city to go, watch football in, and then plan a trip for, the nightlife in Houston would be really good. But the game itself, I'm not sure if that would be something that I want to see. But Steve, I want you to call in tonight. Don't sit there and say that in the comments and don't call in. I want you to call in and explain why you think Jackson State isn't an iconic brand. I want to know. Because in my opinion, I think they are. I think Southern, I think Jackson State, I think Grambling and FAMU are iconic brands, iconic HBCU brands. Alcorn too, to a certain extent, as well. You know, the history of Alcorn has definitely made them up there. Only SWAC schools to score 21 points on Jackson State was who? Oh, Craig. Oh, you talking about Texas Southern? Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, but state defense is not good though. And I don't think it's gonna change this season. I don't think Texas Southern defense is gonna be better than what it was last year. Brandon B said, "Oh, if it ain't Southern, Alcorn, or Valley, I don't be caring about the rest of who we play. I need you, CFL, DJ Raw, Blue, and Swagging the Food to do it. If you see game, they show all the other channels can go away." Facts, you got some explaining to do, Steve. Yeah, Steve, I want you to call in. I want you to call in. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and open up the phone lines now. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines now. Go ahead and get this party started. I want y'all to call in, talk about the games that y'all want to see, why you want to see those games, and things like that. Give me 1 second. Hold on. All right, Steve. So there's the number right there, Steve. 657-390-4814. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's get the likes up, people. Let's get the likes up. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Craig Hall says Texas Southern has a new defense. Huh? We'll see. We will see, Craig. We will see. We will see. But Steve, go and call up. I want to hear this. I want you to tell everybody why you think Jackson State is an iconic brand. I want to hear this. And you know we got Mr. Ford. He gonna call up a little later. And you know, he's gonna be on the show as well. What's going on, Miss Ivy Tube? Matter of fact, I need to make some people some mods. Mod some folks up. Grambling, Southern, and JSU all have iconic brands. Yeah, that's what I believe as well. Give me 1 second, y'all. That's what I believe. Israel, I'm gonna make you a mod. FAMU as well. Go Jags. Man, I'm ready to see what Jackson State and Southern. I wanted to see that rematch, man. That game was awesome last year. Yeah, Steve, you ain't called up yet. I'm waiting on your call. You ain't called up. See? People wolf in the comments and don't want to call up. You gotta explain yourself, Steve. I want to hear your explanation. We got 27 likes. Let's try to get it to 50, y'all. Birmingham Hustle says, "Stop the cap, Steve." Right. But somebody was saying they made a complaint saying Jackson State really just got hot in the last 2 years, so they can't be a iconic brand. And you know, I talked about the years WC Gordon was there where they were dominating in the SWAC. That counts. All right, we got a call coming in. Let's see who this is. All right, we got Steve calling in. Hold on. What's up, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Steve, what's going on, Swag Buzz?
What's going on?
This is Steve calling in.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear the explanation. Why you think what you think?
Well, I mean, I just to be clear, I love Jackson State. Please don't get on me. I know this is a Jackson State biased group, but I'm just
we
saying,
not we
back
not
in the
biased
days, the
though.
Grambling, huh?
I said we not biased though. We love everybody. I know I love everybody. I love all
Yeah,
the schools.
I love everybody too. We love everybody too. I love everybody too. No, I'm just saying, like you can't compare the Grambling, like with Eddie Robinson, Jake Gaither with FAMU, but Jackson State too, because Jackson State had a whole bunch of draft picks come out into all these Power Five schools. But I was just kidding around, man. I'm just joking around, trying to have fun on the chat line, try to everybody get ruffle little feathers. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, okay.
Jackson State is very iconic. Like their 80 was 80 of the year. The women's basketball team, football team doing pretty good, and I can't wait to Miami. Remember, we're gonna FAMU because I want to FAMU, and I play ball there. We're gonna start in South Beach and end in the A. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you for calling. All right, so he said he was just playing, y'all. He said he was just playing. Ruben said Jackson State has a brand, but is it iconic? I don't think so. Grambling is an iconic brand, and this is coming from a Jag. Ruben, call in. I want to hear y'all call in and explain this. So what is a brand to you? A brand to me is I can go to North Dakota or something like that and wear my paraphernalia around black people and they know what that is. You know, they know what it is. If I wear anything SWAC related in the DMV area, they know what that is. Y'all talk about us 24/7. We clearly have a brand. Mr. Ford, if you're in a chat, you could call up. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm looking forward to the FAMU versus Jackson State game. That's my top game. I think that game is gonna be the one, man. That's gonna, like Mr. Ford called it the Super Bowl or HBCU Super Bowl. I think that's exactly what it's gonna be. And I want to see FAMU defense. I want to see them. I want to see what they're gonna do against this new and improved offense against Jackson State. All right, hold on. It's Mr. Ford calling. Hold on. What's going on, Mr. Ford? How you doing?
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. How's it going?
Oh well. So you see what I was talking about earlier. So do you agree? Do you agree that
my thing is, how can they not be a brand when they've led FCS in attendance for over 30 years? Right. I can remember in the 70s, I was, let me see, 12 or 13 years old. Yeah, and I knew about Walter Payton. He was getting, being advertised and publicized all over the country. I'll never forget one of the top running backs at that time, this was 1973-74, was a guy named, I think it was Anthony Davis. He was at Southern Cal. He played with Lynn Swann, and I'll never forget the running back at Jackson State, Sweetness, put in jet that he was a better back. And that prophecy turned out to be true. So I don't understand. And well, I mean, I know y'all don't want to talk about it today, but y'all know now over $300 million has been spent on Jackson State and Jackson State athletics publicity-wise since Deion Sanders got there. I know y'all know that now. Within the first 6 months that Deion Sanders came to Jackson State, it was $186 million spent on them. They've been, I mean, everybody knows they're getting ready to come out with the Sports Illustrated article about Jackson State. You're talking about Sports Illustrated has a subscription of 3 million. 18 million people read Sports Illustrated during the week. So, like, I'm just dumbfounded. How can Jackson State not be a brand? And I mean, I say this every time I talk to y'all. The people over in Atlanta, we 400 miles away from Jackson. They talk about Jackson State every day.
Mm. So yeah. Ruben says, are we talking about brand or iconic brand? Those are two different things.
If you listen, they spent $186 million on Jackson State during the first 3 months that Deion Sanders was there. That's iconic.
Well,
that means that everybody knows about them.
I think the 186 million is that the amount of advertising that Jackson State got in those first 6 months is worth 186 million. So because you're gonna have
iconic.
Yeah.
If that kind of money is being spent talking about Jackson State, you are iconic. Now, I do agree with something. I think it was your guy that called in. Said he was a FAMU guy, and I'd like to know when did he play for FAM and who was his head coach. If he can put it in the chat for me, because I'm a FAMU historian. But anyway, during the 60s, after the death of Arnett Mumford was dominant in the SWAC. and people, y'all need to know this. When Arnett Mumford was in the SWAC, Grambling was not bigger than Southern. Southern was bigger than Grambling. Okay, but the difference was when Arnett Mumford died, I think in 61 or 62, then Eddie Robinson took over the SWAC. Okay, the dominant culture was into Eddie Robinson, with the fact that he had the first HBCU ball player, Tank, I think his name was Tank Younger. That was in the 40s. He went to the Rams. Then 1962 or 63, the first draft choice in the AFL was a guy named Buck Buchanan. So the dominant culture recognized Eddie Robinson, at that time. But in the 70s, when Bob Hill was at Jackson State, and then when Bob Hill left and it was W.C. Gordon, listen, man, that Jackson State brand was out the door now. That Jackson State brand was out the door.
Yeah.
Listen, I tell you what, I know you people want to question me. I'll stop talking. If you got any questions, put it in the chat or call in, anything you want to question me about. And the guy that said he was from FAMU, I think it was your first call. What years were you down there? Who was your head coach? Who was your position coach at FAMU?
Yeah,
let me know that.
That's Steve. So when you look at W.C. Gordon's record, he's 119 and 48, I think. So yeah, 119 wins and 48 losses and 5 ties. That's awesome.
When I got to the SWAC in '86, he took over the SWAC. He and Coach Robinson. Well, in '84, Alcorn won the SWAC. They had the Holt kid who went to the Dallas Cowboys, Perry Quarles. They had, I want to say Richard Miles might have been the quarterback, but they won. They beat up on Mississippi Valley. That's that iconic game that y'all be talking about the biggest crowd. It was like 62 or 63,000 people there. The game was played on a Sunday. That was in '84. Okay, '85, Grambling and Jackson State took over the SWAC. Okay, now here's the thing y'all need to know. For the next 2 or 3 years, nobody in the SWAC beat Jackson State. Nobody. The team that broke their streak was a Southern team, came to Jackson on a homecoming night. I can't remember, was it 88 or 89? They had Southern had a boy named Nate Harrison. Nate was a dual threat. He could run it and throw it. But what people didn't know about Nate, football might not have been his best sport. Nate was an excellent soccer player. I think he was from Baton Rouge. I don't know if he came down there with Gerald Kimball, but they were the team that broke that W.C. Gordon thing. Now, let me just tell you about W.C. Gordon. They love W.C. Gordon more now than they did when he was coaching, because a lot of people in Mississippi were critical of him because he was a Tennessee State graduate. Okay? But I saw him in action. That man was something else. And he was a leader of men. He would bring in good high school coaches. He had, we called him, he was the little short defensive coordinator. What did we called him a name. Oh, I can't think. They got a street named after him. He was the coach before Judd was there. He took over after W.C. What was his name? He was the defensive coordinator all them years for W.C. Gordon. What was his name? He was a little short guy. I think he was from, he was a Mississippian. He was from Mississippi. I want to say he was from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Had played for Big John Merritt. Oh, SWAC, what was his name? Who took over after W.C. Gordon retired?
I can see right now.
Carson. Here it is. Carson. We called him Big Daddy. See, he knew how to use Big Daddy. He had Coach Pete. He had Sylvester Collins. He brought Sylvester Collins in. He was just really good at being a leader of men. And the thing that they had at Jackson State, and I can remember this, I'm a Grambling grad, they had some pride. Oh, it was unreal now. Now, one thing you couldn't do, you couldn't be on Jackson State's team and not produce.
Yeah.
You had to have pride in Jackson State, and you had to play hard in practice, and you had to play hard in the game. If you didn't, you were identified and you were dealt with.
I think Jackson State
and during
Jackson State fan base has always been kind of hard on coaches, because I was at Jackson State. I was at Jackson State during the Cummings year era, and he was winning.
I knew Rick. I remember when Rick was with Billy Joe up at Central State. He was Billy's defense coordinator. They won maybe 1 or 2 NAIA championships. Rick was a good coach. Only thing at Jackson with Rick was Rick didn't have an offensive staff. He was totally dependent on his defense. There you go. Somebody said Cardale Jones. You're right, Michael. That's it. Hughes, Cardale Jones, Melvin P. He had a guy was his defense. He was the defensive back. His name was Kelly. Kelly was the defensive back coach. Okay, listen. Billy Joe is one of the greatest coaches in FAMU history, along with Jake Gaither. That guy right there, Reuben Carter, was a total disaster. I met Reuben when he was the defense coordinator for Steve Wilson up at Howard. He was a disaster. He was a total disaster. What they were trying to do, they had fired the president of FAMU. I'm trying to think of his name. He died too. But anyway, they wanted to wipe out anybody that man had brought to Tallahassee. And one of the people they wanted to wipe out was Billy Joe. They replaced him with Reuben Carter, and it was a disaster. Then it was they brought Joe Taylor there. Everybody thought Joe was going to get it right. Joe wouldn't go get a staff, so that was terrible. Then they hired the boy that played for the Steelers. He was a FAMU graduate. He was the worst coach in FAMU history. What's that boy's name? Earl Holmes. And they finally, they went and got Alex Wood. He was a disaster. They finally got that program straightened out where they brought that boy from Prairie View, who's relatives with FAMU graduates. He's down there now, Willie Simmons. That's when FAMU's program got straightened out. But after Billy Joe was fired, I think 2003, man, they suffered down there in Tallahassee until they brought in Willie Simmons.
Do you think they're going to keep Willie Simmons?
That guy Earl Holmes, you're right here. That guy Earl Holmes was the worst coach in FAMU history.
Do you think FAMU is going to be able to keep Willie Simmons?
No, you know what? They got a problem down there. They got a problem. That guy, the president down there, is not on the same page with Willie Simmons. Personally, I think he wants his fraternity I think he's an alpha, and I think they want to run the football program, and that's not going to work. Because let me just tell you something. There's a lot of people watching Willie Simmons. Okay? Yeah, Robert Kelly, you're right. And they're going to mess around and lose Willie Simmons. Now Willie Simmons' family, he's got like 5 or 6 of his relatives are FAMU graduates. He might have more than that. Okay? But they messing, that man is terrible. What's his name? I can't think of the president's name down at FAMU. But they're going to have to, it's either Willie going to go or that president going to go. Something's going to have to give a FAM. Because I've told you this before, SWAC. You know I've told you this. See, when you go to Jackson, when you go to Southern University, you go to Grambling, who else am I missing? See, them schools like that, they want championships. They want championships. They don't want no excuses.
Yeah.
They don't want them schools right there. They don't want to hear no excuses. Southern, they don't want to hear no excuses. Grambling, Jackson, FAMU, they don't want to hear no excuses now. They want championships. That's what they want. They don't want to talk about, and then the president didn't do right and all. Yeah, that's right. Willie's wife was a FAMU grad, and I think his son went to FAMU. I think his son might have been the SCA president. But them schools right there, they don't want to hear no excuses. They want championships. Because the guy who started that at Southern, that was Arnett Mumford. He built a monster, and the monster feeds off championship. Like I told you, Jackson State. Let me tell you this. A few years ago, they went into the 150-year anniversary of college football. They listed the 150 best coaches in the history of football, college football. Jackson State had 2 coaches on that list. They had the man that left them and went up to Tennessee State, Big John Merritt, and W.C. Gordon was on that list. And we ain't got to talk about Grambling now. We're talking about that man with Eddie Robinson, the winningest coach in college football history.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear. That's it. That's him right there. Thank you, Kevin. Larry Robinson. That man got to go. He got to go.
And fam, they got a lot to brag on. I mean, they got 29 conference championships.
No doubt about it, man.
They got 13 national championships. So they got a lot to brag on.
Let me tell you something. See, when black college football started in the 1890s, from the 1890s until World War II, the number 1 black college football program was Tuskegee. After World War II, it became Southern University and Florida A&M. When that man, Arnett Mumford, died, I think in 61 or 62, that's when the emergence of Grambling happened. Okay. Then the guy at Tennessee State, he left Jackson and went to Tennessee State and built a monster up there. Okay. And
Mr.
they
Ford,
dominated.
Mr. Ford, this Steve calling in. I guess he's trying to tell you who he played for. Hold on, let me put him on.
Okay, talk to me, Steve. Now, what was your who was your position coach?
Steve, you there?
What's up? Yeah, this is Steve. How you doing, SWAC?
What's going on?
Okay, who was your position coach at FAM?
Yeah, I played at 2003 to 2005. Herbert Moore, Herbert Lee, Coach Nancy was my D-line.
Okay.
Yeah, I played 03 to 05. We played Jackson State in the Coca-Cola Classic in Indianapolis. We beat them 28-14. I had the interception in 2005 against Tennessee State on the 1-yard line. I made all me at that year.
Okay, now how many years did you play? How many years did you play for Billy Joe?
I played 2 years, 03 to 04, before they fired him. I was there when they fired him.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you were with Eddie Parsons and who were the people on defense with you?
Well, John Donner Edwards, Levy Brown. He was one of the best corners. He had 18 interceptions in 3 years. He was a Buck Buchanan, a finalist. Cedric Copeland, Wally Edward Kwaku. He was in NFL Europe. Who else? Jeff Green, Sean Kelly. I remember them. Sean Kelly. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, I love when you on there, man. You know your thing, man.
Listen, now, what's your hometown? Where you from?
Miami, Florida. I walked on in 03. That's when we.
Okay, what's your high school?
North Miami.
Okay. All right, now did you go against Booker T and did you go against Northwest?
Booker T was in a lower level. We went against Miami Central.
Miami Central. Okay.
Northwestern.
Yeah, that's right. Jackson, Northwestern. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
North Miami Beach. Yeah, we went to the playoffs. We played Dillard in the playoffs.
Oh, that's right. That's out of Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale Dillard. That's what Quinn Gray played. Quinn Gray was our he was a quarterback in the early 2000s.
Now Quinn's daddy was a coach, wasn't it? Wasn't Quinn's daddy a coach?
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Steve. We're gonna get back on the show though. We're gonna get back on topic. We don't want to take up the show with the personal conversation. All right, all right, y'all. So yeah, the phone lines are open. If you want to call in, tell everybody what games you're looking forward to seeing, what games you're most looking forward to watching. I did my top 5. Some people didn't agree with it. Let me know your top 5 so y'all can call in. Let us know. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's see where we at on the likes. Give me 1 second. We got 50 likes. Let's get it to 100, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I want to see South Carolina State versus Jackson State. You might see that in the Celebration Bowl. Who knows? You might see that in the Celebration Bowl. I just hope Jackson State come out with a better performance. I think if Jackson State plays South Carolina State, they're going to try to put a whooping on them. They're going to try to blow them off the field. But Mr. Ford, what are your top games that you're looking forward to? If you had to pick 5.
Listen, I want to say that the guy who hit it on the head for me was this David Varner. And David, I agree with you. Listen, I took time the other night and went through the whole SWAC schedule from FAMU in North Carolina all the way to the Celebration Bowl. Every week, it's a big game. And I'm saying to everybody, guys, it's about these ADs, presidents, and these coaches. They got to do their job. The SWAC has been flooded from the top to the bottom with FBS players, FCS transfers, Division II transfers. We got all the players we need. It's about these ADs, these presidents, and these coaches doing their job. And I hope that they taking time in these days here, this June and this July. I hope you're doing your planning. I hope you're setting your expectations and you're putting your discipline on paper. Because the teams that do that, that's who's going to win in the SWAC. Because every team in the SWAC got good players.
Yeah. And
it's great games. It's multiple great games during the week. It ain't just 1 or 2. It's a bunch of good games.
You know who a lot of people need to be watching out for is Alabama A&M. I think they silently building a good team at Alabama A&M. So
without a doubt,
yeah, they need to watch out for him.
Without a
that
doubt,
game
baby. Let me tell you something. I tell people this all the time. You got to remember, Cornell Maynard went to the Division II championship, and the guy who was his defensive coordinator is now his defensive coordinator again. Because when he went to the Division II championship, he left and went to Hampton, and they didn't appreciate him at Hampton. Then he came to Alabama A&M. Listen, I'm like you, man. They better listen. Keep your eyes on Cornell Maynard now. That's a highly competitive coach. He was a highly competitive. And by the way, let me just tell you this: we getting ready to have an Alabama State takeover up here in Atlanta. I was talking to one of their graduates on the 28th. All of the coaches at Alabama State are going to be at a high school or middle school, and they're bringing in all their alums. And then also during this week, we're going to have the SWAC MEAC press conference. So, Alabama State is going to be playing Howard in the SWAC MEAC challenge. So Alabama State is doing a takeover in Atlanta. And now one of the things the guy told me is that Eddie Robinson, who is their new coach, has told the coaches and the alumni that he wants to center on Atlanta, Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, that panhandle area, especially Mobile. He wants the majority of the players to come from those areas. So just be what there was some talking heads that tried to make a joke about Eddie Robinson getting that job, calling him the real estate agent. Y'all got to remember now that when Eddie Robinson was a player at Alabama State, he was not on athletic scholarship. He was on academic scholarship, and he was a 2 or 3 time academic All-American. You ain't dealing with no dummy now. His mother was a principal. His daddy was one of the top 2 or 3 men who ran the Superdome in New Orleans. We ain't talking about no dummy now.
And I think Alabama State going to travel well too, because I mean they travel well to Jackson.
Let me tell you about Alabama State. Alabama State is just like LSU used to be. People don't remember this, but for many years LSU would have the best talent in the country, but they didn't have no head coach. That changed when they brought this man from the NFL. His name was Bill Arnsparger. Bill Arnsparger came from the NFL. He woke up that giant at LSU, but here's the thing. He only stayed about 3 years. Then they went through all of these deadbeat coaches, Jared DiNardo, Curly Halleman, Mike Archer. None of them could do nothing. And then somebody in Baton Rouge had enough sense to go and get Nick Saban. And, baby, the rest is history.
Yeah, so what about Prairie View? What you think Prairie View going to do now that they lost Coach
I'm waiting to see. It's going to be coaching. It's going to be coaching. This is Bubba McDowell's first time as a head coach. I know he played in the NFL for many years. Now, here's the thing about Prairie View. They got players down there because when Eric Dooley was down there, he stockpiled players down at Prairie View. Now, the thing is, what are they going to do with them players? Because like I'm telling you, all of these teams have great players. The difference is going to be the president, and listen, when you compare Jackson State's president, President Hudson, to that man down there at Florida A&M, it's no comparison. Okay? When you look at the AD at Florida A&M and compare him with the AD at Jackson State, it's no comparison. But there is equality when you look at Willie Simmons and you start talking about Deion Sanders. So right now, I'm going to be honest with you, I give Deion Sanders the advantage because he has President Hudson and he has athletic director Ashley Robinson. That's why I give him the advantage.
1 second. So y'all, let's get the likes up to 100. We got 127 people in here. Let's get the likes up to at least 100. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. So if you
now listen, I see Blue Blood is on here. Listen, Blue, I heard you the other day. You did a terrific and great job with one of your shows dealing with the SWAC, and I want you. And you did another show I really enjoyed. You did a show on the Total FCS. Blue, good job. And one thing my granddad always told me, you give people credit when credit is due. Blue, you're doing a great job, and I want you to keep it up. This is Mr. Ford. Keep it up. I know sometimes we have our differences, But listen, Blue, you've been great. I've been listening to you. You've been doing a great job. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I was about to ask you. So if you was to put the top 5 head coaches in the SWAC coming into this season, who would you put in your top 5? No, it's gonna be hard.
Dion got to be number one with the support Dion getting. Like I just told you, he got the president on his side. He got Ashley Robinson on his side. But see, that's what's hurting. That's what's gonna hurt Willie Simmons. See, Willie Simmons I don't like the president down there. I don't like that mess he doing. You know, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think he's trying to let his fraternity run the football program. Okay, and I think that's hurting Willie. I don't like this guy. This guy done been to AD 3 times. I really like the guy, Gaucher. I thought Gaucher was doing a great job.
What makes you think
he's trying to make? He was doing this. I thought he was doing a great job.
What makes you think he's trying to make the let his fraternity run the program?
You know, I read this stuff on this, you know, about his brothers and all that, and whew, you know, see that's a mess right there. When you got that kind of stuff going on, that's a mess. See, it's a difference between fraternities and college football now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a difference. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
make sure y'all like and subscribe to Blue Blood's channel. He does SWAC content.
The Blue Blood is listen, you quality, man. I really enjoyed this stuff. I've been listening to you. Like I told now, Blue, I don't know if you now, Blue. I just told him. Alabama State reminds me of LSU in the old days. Alabama State is a walking giant. I mean, is a sleeping giant. The thing is, can this young man wake them up? Because I'm telling you, I remember back in the day, LSU would have all of these players, but they didn't have coaching worth for nothing. And then they went and somebody came up with the idea to go get Nick Saban. And baby, it was on after that. It was on after that. Now, the thing is, can Eddie Robinson wake up Alabama State? Because they are a sleeping giant. Like I'm telling you, they sit in the midst of all of these cities. You look at Montgomery. I know somebody told me the other day, said that geography don't matter. Yes, it does. Listen, you're talking about 2-hour ride from Montgomery to Atlanta, less than a 2-hour ride to Birmingham, maybe a 2-3 hour ride to Jackson. Then you can go down to New Orleans and get players. Mobile. Now, everybody knows that. Anybody knows that area in Florida that's called the Panhandle. The Panhandle feeds University of Miami. It feeds Bethune-Cookman. It feeds University of Florida, Florida A&M, Florida State, University of Georgia, University of Alabama, University of Auburn University. All of that is at the I-10 corridor. You look at all them rosters, all them players that come from the Panhandle. Just look at it. Anybody, just go and look at them rosters and then tell me about them players that they got from the Panhandle, that I-10 corridor.
Appreciate that, Prime Time. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. The phone lines are open, y'all. If y'all want to call in, 657-390-4814. If y'all want to call in and tell us what games you're looking forward to, tell us anything you want to talk about in the SWAC, y'all can call in.
Listen, SWAC, that's a big one right there. Alabama A&M versus FAM. That's at Bragg Stadium. Now, and by the way, guys, I know this is SWAC, but it was a great coach just quit the other day. This guy, his name was Bill Clark. He's having back problems, and he quit at UAB. That guy was a great coach, guys. I've been following him for years. I remember when he was at Jacksonville State. And I want to say to him and his family, congratulations, and I hope that Bill will be doing better. But Bill is a great coach, okay? Yeah, you're right, G-Dub. And I didn't mean to do that. I'm from South Georgia. You're right. We got some dogs in middle. Well, listen, let me just tell you something about Georgia. I don't know if y'all heard. Georgia right now has about 11 million people in the state of Georgia. They're saying in the next 3 years, Georgia is going to go to 14.7 million people. Listen, you can build your athletic program out of the state of Georgia, and you are correct. I'm sorry that I omitted that. You're right, G-Dub. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, SWAC, I'm sorry. Will you ask me a question?
Well, somebody asked, how does Alabama State wide receivers look? I think they got a 4-star guy. And I think they got a couple of 3.
Yeah, they brought in a bunch of transfers. They got D1 transfers.
Yeah, they got a bunch of 3 stars too.
They want to play with that Davis kid from Texas. They look at their transfer portal people.
Yeah.
They got people coming in from everywhere. They got 2 or 3 big time wide receivers that transfer from Power 5 schools.
You're gonna have legit have like 7 teams in the SWAC that's gonna be like tough this year. So more than half the SWAC is gonna be tough.
Like I keep saying, man, it's coming down to coaching. Listen, Nikolai, Malachi, I have people in Sylvester, Georgia. I used to go and spend my summers in Sylvester. Okay, I'm from Moultrie and Albany, Georgia. Okay, I'm sorry. What were you saying now?
Somebody says that they got a wide receiver that's 6'5", and that's a growing trend in the SWAC too.
He's from Baton Rouge. Yeah, he's a freshman.
Y'all notice all these SWAC teams getting these very tall wide receivers. I think that's coming. I think that's coming from they seen what Shaq Davis did to Jackson State in that Celebration Bowl, and that's the blueprint.
Oof.
That's the blueprint. Get a bunch of tall receivers so they can give Jackson State some trouble.
Listen, I had heard CFA and them talking about Shaq Davis last year, but I hadn't really watched him. But listen, I'm gonna watch him this year. Listen, was he the MVP of the Celebration Bowl? Who was the MVP?
Yeah, he was the MVP.
Yeah, he should have been it. Man, he put on a show.
Definitely going to the NFL.
That boy put on a show, man.
He's definitely going to the NFL. That's an NFL receiver there.
Yeah, I just want him to get his, make sure he's on his weights. But he's in a quality program.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, let me tell you something I heard that it was so terrible. They announced this week that 4 of the baseball programs in the MEAC are going to play in another conference. What kind of mess is that? That's why I told you, when I heard that lady who is the MEAC commissioner, she was talking to Dr. Cavill and his panel, I know I didn't hear nothing. And anytime your baseball program, your baseball team's got to go play in another conference, you're going to get shut down. That's ridiculous. That's a lack of leadership. That's so wrong on so many levels. That is so wrong.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
What conference are they going to? You know what conferences they're going to?
Some conference called the Northeast something. Somebody from the MEAC. I know y'all on here. Tell us what conference them 4 baseball programs going to.
It must be the NEC.
I thought it was the NEC or something like that.
Yes, the NEC.
Northeastern Conference.
Yes, the NEC.
Oh, listen, this lady right here. Kevin Proud. You right, Sonia Steele. Listen, I'm very disappointed in her and her leadership right now. That's terrible.
All right.
As bad as we need black baseball players, we're only 3% of Major League Baseball, and you not pushing baseball?
Yeah. Hold on, let me get this call. What's going on, Carter? You live? Talk to me.
Mo Carter.
Hey, Mr. Carter. Can you turn your the stream off in the background because it's gonna play back.
Sure thing, man. Absolutely.
All right, you good? I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Cool. Okay. Well, first and foremost, guys, I've been enjoying, what I've been hearing so far between everybody. Always great to, hear all the hype about the HBCU stuff. I know y'all were just talking about baseball. So I know the big thing with the baseball thing was that, of course, a few years ago when the MEAC lost several teams to different conferences like A&T, Florida State, and then North Carolina Central went down to D2. They only had so many teams left, and then another team dropped baseball. So the NCAA gave them 2 years to basically add additional teams. And if you didn't, then the NCAA was kind of like, hey, you're going to lose that automatic bid. So in a nutshell, it kind of just looks like MEAC, leadership wasn't able to bring on, additional teams at least to play baseball. So I'm guessing those 4 teams decided to go to NEC because it was like, hey, we don't want to drop our programs or lose out on opportunities and whatnot. So, you have to kind of take a look at it from that sense. So that's my 2 cents with the baseball stuff. As far as the football things, I mean, look, y'all kind of said it all from the top. Basically every single week, it's going to be a war still. I mean, just to pick 5 games, I mean, that's definitely tough just in general. I mean, but, when you kind of just look at some things, even just in the early portion of stuff, of course, I'm a sports anchor here in Alabama. So, I have an eye on both Alabama A&M and also Alabama State. So, obviously, that week 0 game with Alabama State and Howard is going to be a huge game for the SWAC more so than the MEAC. And the reason why I say that is because obviously the SWAC has not been doing well in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And, of course, a guy like Eddie Robinson Jr. coming in, taking over the program that's his alma mater, you know, he wants to make a splash immediately, not just with the program, but also for the conference just in general. And, I mean, I know Eddie, you know, quite well because when I worked in Montgomery and I did play-by-play for Alabama State, Eddie was my color analyst for 2 years. So you talk about a guy who bleeds black and gold through and through. And, I mean, yeah, you can make all the jokes about real estate and whatever. Yeah, that was his side hustle. But this guy was working with athletes, student athletes, especially in the Houston area, for years and years and years. So dude definitely does know his stuff. And, I mean, he was an academic All-American, plus he was a SWAC Player of the Year in between the years in which Aeneas Williams was the Defensive Player of the Year and Michael Strahan was the Defensive Player of the Year. So dude's pretty legit, you know, from that standpoint. But, you know, he knows his X's and O's as well. So I would say we definitely need to take a look at that. But then after that, it's a no-brainer. The FAMU Jackson State game or whatever is going to once again, you know, play a huge role not only in the SWAC but also in the East Division, because remember, it is a losing joint.
Yeah, I think you're kind of cutting out there.
Hey, can I say something, SWAC?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, listen, first of all, I want to say it is an honor and a privilege to be on this line with Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, I follow you on social media. I know that you're the sports anchor in Huntsville. It is you do a great job, and you do a great job of pushing SWAC athletics. And thank you for calling in. But I just want to tell you, I am a fan of yours, and keep up the good work.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. I really, really do. I totally do appreciate that. It's always good to hear that people enjoy what I do on a day-to-day basis, because, I mean, this is my job, you know. This is what I went to school for, and, you know, get a paycheck and whatnot from it. So, like, I don't come on with the BS. Like, I keep it real with it. Of course, I've always been a local sports first guy, so obviously with Alabama A&M right here in my backyard, which is like 3 minutes away from my television station, obviously, you know, they're going to get the love and stuff that they're going to get. Not saying that, you know, I don't still show love to the Alabamas and the Auburns and the University of North Alabama and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I know what my Common Core audience is, and I'll tell you this, I appreciate people who, you know, who check me out on social media and check out, you know, I have to say and do whatever from that. So
yeah,
I do appreciate the
give out your way.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you. I was with some North Carolina A&T people on yesterday, and you know they're getting ready to go to the CAA in sports, not this coming football season, but the next one. I think in 23. But now the people I talked to yesterday, they're all hoping that they can take Cornell Maynor from Alabama A&M to Greensboro to be the head coach at North Carolina A&T. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, obviously, I mean, it's always going to be we knew, well, here in Huntsville, we know one day that may end up coming and happening or whatever. I mean, Cornell Maynor is not only a great coach, he is a legend at North Carolina A&T, and most recently he was inducted into the MEAC Hall of Fame, right before the pandemic and stuff. So, you know, so obviously that's home for him. His daughter just graduated from North Carolina A&T this past spring as well. Shout out to Nicole. You know, she definitely does a lot of traveling between Greensboro and Huntsville. So honestly, I've talked to a few people, you know, at A&M, and you know they understand that situation may come up or whatever. So it's going to be totally up to them to try to make sure that, you know, they can keep Coach Maynor around for a long-term situation. Don't get me wrong, like I have a great relationship with Coach Maynor. He likes being here in Huntsville, but at the same time, he also understands that there's always a job to be done, and we know good and well if home calls, there's a good possibility. Now, I will say this, though. Alabama A&M, leadership-wise, is going through some changes right now. Dr. Andrew Gini Jr. just retired, and Dr. Daniel Wims took over as the president. Well, Dr. Wims, and I'm going to keep it real with everybody. For people that don't know, Dr. Wims is really the dude that was really pushing things for athletics. Yeah, I know, you know, that you had the most recent athletic director who's actually leaving to go to the SWAC office at the end of the month. But Dr. Wims really had kind of been pushing things from the administrative side. The reason why I say that, Dr. Wims was in charge of the search committee that hired Coach Cornell Maynor. He was in charge of the search committee that hired Coach Marvin Richards. And Coach Margaret Richards and Coach Connell Maynard are basically the two winningest coaches that you've had in really the last 6-7 years on that Alabama A&M campus. So, Dr. Williams understands the situation, and he knows what the excitement is when it comes to sports. So he knows for sure he's got the support from Dr. Williams moving forward on things. But at the same time, we understand that, the battle lines are going to be crossed at one point in time. I'm pretty sure Prairie View was in the same situation. They knew good and well if a Grambling job or a Southern job came open that Coach Dooley was going to definitely put his name in the hat for it or whatever. Right. But at the end of the day, decisions were made, and I'm glad to see Coach Dooley at my alma mater, Southern. I mean, I was a player under him, for 3 years. And I mean, he was by far one of the best assistant coaches that you knew was going to do well one day as a head coach when he got his shot.
Mr. Carter.
Right. Well, let me just let you in on a little story about
hold on, Mr. Ford. Hold on, Mr. Ford. So, Mr. Carter, make sure you give everybody your social media and your radio show where they can go listen to you on your radio show.
Absolutely. All right. So if you want to catch me on social media, on Twitter, it's Mo Carter, MOCARTER, Fox 54. On Facebook, it's also that. I'm the lead sports anchor for Fox 54 WZDX here in Huntsville, Alabama. You can catch me weeknights at 5:30 and also around 9:45 on fox54.com. And, if you're in the Huntsville, Tennessee Valley area, but you can also go online and watch us live for our television broadcast each and every day, with the Fox affiliate and Fox Sports here in the area. But of course, like I said, now it's expanding, and we also have the, everything watching on the web. You can always check that out or whatever. And also you can hit us up you can also check out various stories I do either through our website or also through our Facebook page on WZDX Fox 54.
Diamond said that's too fast. So he said Fox 54, Mo Carter, MOCARTER.
Okay. All right, let me back. All right, here we go. Okay, Mo Carter, MOCARTER, Fox 54, and that's on both Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, I think Mr. Ford had another question for you. Let me get him in here so he can ask you that.
All right. I was going to give you some history about Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams' father, his father's name was Felton Williams, and my mother were classmates at Albany State. Now, when Dr. Williams was a undergraduate at Fort Valley State, I think his classmate was Greg Lloyd. Remember Greg Lloyd, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I do. Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green.
Yeah, they were all. He was at Fort Valley with Greg Lloyd. Now, at that time, Fort Valley was battling Alabama A&M. It was Coach Ray Green who just passed. And see, for us, for many years in the SIAC, after FAMU left, Ray Green was the best coach in the SIAC for many years.
I'm putting it in the chat now, y'all.
He won 4 championships over an 8-year span, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I tell people he was an assistant at Jackson. I remember when he was a head coach at North Carolina Central. I remember when he was a head coach at Alabama A&M. He had a guy who I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. His name was Howard Big House Ballard. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, he should be in there.
He's Athletic Hall of Fame 2 years ago.
He's in the Hall of Fame?
He's in the A&M Hall of Fame for sure.
But he should be in the NFL Hall of Fame also. I think he was a Seattle Seahawk. He was a big – see, I remember when he was an undergraduate at Alabama A&M. He was a big offensive tackle. He played for Coach Ray Green. And the football team had one Wagner, and the basketball team had another Wagner. There were 2 brothers. One was on the football team, and one was on the basketball team. Ask anybody at Alabama A&M about the Wagner brothers. They were awesome.
Yeah, I've heard Coach Van Pettaway talk about the Wagner brothers.
Yeah, the Wagner brothers. I think one of them might have went to the Lakers, and the football Wagner, I think he went in the league or played Arena League or something. But they were devastating. They were super athletes over there. And then y'all had a track coach, Joe. I think his name was Coach Henderson. His girls were going to the Olympics. That's another reason I've been fussing on here. Listen, Florida A&M has a history of sending people to the Olympics. It's ridiculous that they don't have a top track program. Alabama A&M has a history of sending people to the Olympics. They should have one of the top track programs in the nation. We got to do better in track and field, men and women. We got to do better in baseball. We got to do better.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call, Mr. Mo Carter. I put your Facebook and I put your Twitter in the chat so people can follow you there. But I appreciate you calling in on the show. Thank you for calling.
Hey, no problem. Hey, real quick, I wanted to just say this whatever too. Another big game that a lot of people may not have on their schedule will be that late September game when Alabama A&M travels to Florida A&M. Reason why I say that, that'll be Alabama A&M's first SWAC game. But Alabama A&M comes out the gate against UAB, against Troy, and then against Austin Peay. So Connell Maynard and company, they're going to definitely hope to at least have a win, maybe 2 wins or whatever during that stretch. But you also want to be healthy going into that stretch or whatever, because obviously we know by the time you hit SWAC play, you've got to be trying to play your best from week in to week out. I mean, for anything, I'm going to use hypotheticals. I'll say this, like, let's say FAM loses to Jackson State again this year or whatever. FAM really can't afford to lose to A&M that week because they'll be 2 in the hole at that point or whatever. So that's another one I think is definitely going to be a huge game as well. But that's all I want to say from that, guys.
But listen, Mr. Clark, I know you've heard that Bill Clark has resigned as head coach at UAB. I know you've heard that, right?
Yes, sir. That was our lead story on Friday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because, listen, I've been watching him since he was at Jacksonville State. That guy was a great coach. Bill Clark is a great coach. He's a good coach.
Matter of fact, when I came to Alabama, he was the coach at Prattville High School.
Right, that's right. That's him.
Then he went to South Alabama, and then he was at Jacksonville State before going to UAB. So, no, I know Coach Clark quite well, man. I hate to see him step away, but hey, he's taking care of him, and I can't applaud him more than anything for doing that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Listen, it's been great talking with you.
All right, gentlemen, y'all have a good one, and y'all take care now.
All right, thank you for the call. All right, let me say this to the people in the chat. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We got like almost 150 people in the chat in here watching, and we only got 90 likes. Come on now, y'all not respecting the content. Come on, y'all like the content, y'all like what we doing. We're on a Sunday, we taking out our time on a Sunday to do a good show for y'all. Go hit the like button, man. You have that wrong. Hitting the like button on call. Yeah, hitting the like button is free. I'm not on here asking for y'all for money or anything. Just hit the like button. That's all we need. But yeah, Mr. Ford, that was an interesting call, though. I didn't expect that.
Oh, yeah, he does a great job. I watch him on YouTube, and he's the sports anchor at up there in Huntsville. He does a great job. I'm so happy that, that's a privilege and a blessing that we had him on the line. He does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Someone he does a great job. I wish you could get him on here sometime and just let him go off. Because he's really good.
Someone said, thank you for letting them talk. Yeah, I let people talk when they come on the show. I mean, I drop videos all through the week with me talking. So when we do these lives, I do these lives for y'all. That's why I tell y'all can call in and get your thoughts out, because I'm doing this for y'all. So y'all can come online, get your thoughts out to, on YouTube, so people can hear what you think and what your opinion is.
Yeah. Now, somebody said right here, Barry Wagner was football. That's right. That's right. And the other Wagner, like you said, he played for Coach Featherweight. But now, listen, don't y'all forget Alabama A&M at one time had Ben Jobe. And they were really good in men's basketball. And then Ben Jobe left Alabama A&M and went to Southern. And he had Avery Johnson and all them people down there at Southern. One of his boys was with Charlotte. He got killed. His daddy was a professor there at Southern. I can't think of that guy's name, but he was Bobby Fields, I think his name was, wasn't it? You Southern people, wasn't it Bobby Fields? But Ben Jobe was at Alabama A&M, and then he left A&M and went to Southern.
Let me say this, Mr. Ford. Hold on, let me say this. Someone said, "Are you taking a shot at someone for not asking for money?" Like, no, I don't take shots at people on this channel. Like, no, like I said, whatever donation y'all give me, I appreciate it. But, if y'all hit the like button, that's good enough too. But I do appreciate the donation when y'all do donate to the channel, because that helps out. But hitting the like button is free. That's just like taking your shoes off when you come to somebody's house. Hit the like button. But go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Yeah, I was just saying, I know some of these people from A&M. I know y'all haven't forgotten Coach Ben Jobe. He believed in that. He brought an NBA style to Alabama A&M, where they was averaging almost 80, 90 points a game, and then he left A&M and he went down to Southern University. He had Avery Johnson, Bobby Fields. He had some other great players down there too. They upset Georgia Tech one year in the NCAA tournament. I don't know if y'all forgotten that, but yeah, Coach Ben Jobe.
Okay. But yeah, so Mr. Ford, are you traveling to any games this season?
Oh yeah, everyone I can get a chance to go to. Yeah.
Which ones you going to?
I really want to. Now you know the SWAC MEAC Challenge. You know I'm going to be at it. That's Lord willing. I want to see Alabama State play Howard because I want to see the progress of Howard. But you know I really want to see Alabama State because I'm telling y'all, Alabama State got the players, baby. I want to see the coaching. I want to see the coaching. Like I told you, I've been asking people about that Harry Williams. He's offense coordinator. Nobody will. I talked to the people at Morehouse. They just said, yeah, he's okay. I talked to the people at Tuskegee, and they said, he was a terrific ball player, and he went pro. But nobody won't vouch for him as a coach and an offense coordinator. I got to see him because I'm telling you, Alabama State is a sleeping giant. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
they are a sleeping giant. And I want to see Coach Robinson wake him up. Can he do what Nick Saban did for LSU? That's what Nick Saban woke up LSU. LSU went for many years after Orangebarger. They was underachieving, had all them super players, and then Nick Saban hit Baton Rouge. The rest is history.
I think a lot of people haven't given him a fair chance yet. They kind of just wrote him off. You know, they make the jokes about him being a real estate guy. Them just hiring him because he's alum, right? So
he's alum.
Yeah, so a lot of people said that.
He when he was in the NFL, he represented the SWAC with the utmost class. He's a classy individual. I told you his background. His mom was a principal down in the New Orleans school system. His dad was like the number 2 or number 3 man at the New Orleans Superdome. So, you know, I think he's going to do well. I just got to see them coordinators, you know, to see that guy. See, like I keep telling y'all about Southern. Southern going to average 40 points a game. Don't worry about it. See, my thing is the biggest question mark at Southern is Henry Miller, the defense coordinator. Can you produce or can you come up with a championship defense? Okay. That's a big question at Southern. You don't have to worry about offense. Okay, Dooley is an offensive mastermind. But what about that defense? Can that guy, Henry Miller, come up with a championship defense?
So Jay Will,
same thing. Huh?
Jay Will says, what's going on with HBCU talent in men's basketball? The kids are trying to go one and done anyway. Why not spend a few months around your people? I've been saying that for the longest. I don't understand why these big time recruits won't just pile up at a HBCU and take them to the national title game. I mean, you just going to school for 1 year anyway. Why not just go to a HBCU, fund all those resources in for that year into that program, and then you go to the league? Because think about it, Mikey Williams. If Mikey Williams chooses a HBCU, he's gonna be one and done. He's gonna he doesn't have to go to a big time Power 5 school or something like that. He doesn't have to do that. They're gonna pick him. He's gonna be top 5 pick. So
and I think isn't Mikey Williams' mother a Hampton graduate?
Yeah, she went.
I need to look that up. I think somebody said she went to Hampton.
Yeah, I know he has Texas Southern and Hampton in his top.
Yeah, I think his mama played for Hampton.
Yeah.
Now listen, and I've talked to y'all about this before. I want the new coach at Jackson State. I want him to start going into Chicago. I want him to go to Detroit. I want him to go into New York. I want to bring something in. I want national recruiting.
Yeah.
I want you to go out. What's the coach at Jackson State's name?
Mo Williams.
Mo Williams. I want Mo to do national recruiting. I need Mo to open it up. I need him to go to California. Yeah, I need him to open it up. Because you got the notoriety. Everybody knows Jackson State. It is an iconic brand. You can go to New York City, New York, and they know about Jackson State.
Yeah.
You can go to Los Angeles, California, and they know about Jackson State. So I want him to recruit these major cities.
So
go into Chicago. You know, I mean, the Jackson State graduates in Chicago. Go into Chicago and get them boys. They play good basketball in Chicago.
Yeah.
Go to Detroit.
Lauren said
New
Mikey is going to the G League. Sadly, 50 top 50 recruits don't need college. I don't know. The G League and Nike team, it's a good path, but a lot of those kids want to experience college for at least 1 year. So
yeah.
I still think college is still more attractive.
I would always pick college over the G League because in college you can build a network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, when you come to Jackson State, you might be going to school with the next that Johnson man, Bob Johnson, or you could be going to school with the next Kathy Hughes. See, it's not just about basketball. When you come to a college, you build a network. Listen, I got about maybe 10 of my classmates that I know personally that are millionaires that I went to school with. Okay, so it's a network too. So I would encourage them guys to go to college. And listen, to come to an HBCU, are you kidding me? Man.
Okay, this is Steve calling again. Let's see what Steve wants.
Okay.
What's going on, Steve? You got something else to add?
Hey, this is Steve. Hey, SWAC. Hey, Mr. Ford. I got a quick question, guys.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Do you guys see two teams in the postseason again? One in the Celebration Bowl and one in the playoffs? Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I know that one of the things they're gonna try to use on us is they're gonna try to say that our the second team they'll say something about our competition wasn't stiff enough. Now Blue does a good job of talking about that. Well, you know, FAM will definitely make it because you jumped up and played in North Carolina. You playing the University of North Carolina. But I know that they're going to say that the SWAC teams ain't playing nobody and, you know, that kind of stuff. But I think that we will have the same thing. I think we'll have one team in the Celebration Bowl and one team in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah. I think FAM, you might get that playoff spot again if they don't beat Jackson State.
Yeah. You know, Jackson State, FAM, Southern, those Grambling. You can follow them teams every week. To me, every game they got is a big game. Every game they got. Alabama State, every game they got. You know, you look at Alabama State schedule, you look at Alabama A&M schedule. You can follow them every week. That's why I said I can't pick no 5 games because every week it's great games. It's not just one. It's great games from the last of August to the Thanksgiving weekend. Nothing but just good games. I mean, great games.
Appreciate that donation, Diamond. Appreciate the donation. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Diamond. And Diamond, you inspire me. I read everything that you say. You really inspire me.
They don't care about college. Ain't no kid literally turn in NBA league minimum to
Wait a
go
minute,
to
Ruben.
college.
You see this? What Ruben said? Ruben said Grambling will start the season 0-6.
Wow, I don't know about that, Ruben.
That's big, right there, Ruben.
I don't know about that one, Ruben.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Listen, this is what I've been told. Now I'm a Grambling graduate. I talked to some people here in Atlanta. Now this is what they're saying. The defense is there. The biggest issue at Grambling is who's going to be the starting quarterback. Now, I had thought after the spring game it would be Halloween. But now the word over here in Atlanta is it's going to be that kid that came in from Syracuse. Well, he didn't come in from Syracuse, but he signed with Syracuse, and then he's from Texas. He went to a junior college in Texas. Now, they're telling me that Hugh and Knowles are basically redesigning the offense to fit his talent. It's going to be more of an RPO, tempo. You know, it's not going to be like most people would say, well, Hugh Jackson been in the league. He's going to install the NFL offense. Now, what we're being told is that it's going to be an offense that fits his skill set. So you going out on a limb right there. Now, personally, I hope that you're wrong, but that's something right there. Ruben, you saying that Grambling will start the season 0-6. You going out on a limb. You are.
Let's see their football schedule.
You said pull up. Somebody said pull up Grambling's schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through their schedule. Let's see.
Yeah. Did you want me to pull it up? You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So the first game they playing Arkansas State. That's
Butch
probably
Jones. That's Butch Jones.
Yeah, that's probably a loss. I get that.
Yeah, and that's in Jonesboro, and I think it's at Arkansas State.
And they played Northwestern State next. After that,
they should win that. They can take Northwestern.
Yeah, and that's Northwestern State.
And somebody said right here, call in Blue Blood. Yeah, Blue, call in. You know Blue got something to say, and Blue, I know you know. Come on, Blue, call in.
Then they got Jackson State.
That's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
That's it. That's Pack House in Jackson. Now is that a night game or a day game?
It says to be
I'm thinking a night game, right?
Yeah, it says to be determined, so we don't know yet.
Okay. Hopefully that's a night game.
Then they got Bethune-Cookman. They're gonna win that one. And then they got
they should beat Bethune.
They got Prairie View. They'll win that one too. And then
they should beat Prairie View. Who's the next one?
Then Alabama A&M.
That's gonna be a big hit. Now, where is that? Is that at Grambling or that's in Huntsville? Where's that?
Yeah, they're gonna be at Huntsville. Yeah.
That's gonna be a big game.
Then they got FAMU and Alcorn. So that 3-game stretch is gonna be tough.
Then now FAMU comes to Grambling. Listen, you don't even you know that Grambling and Alcorn is gonna be like cats and dogs. Those schools are less than 2 hours apart, right?
Yeah.
You know that's gonna be a big game. Who's the next one?
After Alcorn is gonna be Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and then Texas Southern.
They should take Pine Bluff. Now Pine Bluff comes to Grambling, or they go to Pine Bluff?
They go to Grambling.
Yeah, they should take them.
And then they go to Texas Southern, and then after that it's the Bayou Classic.
Ooh, I think they should take Texas Southern. Boy, that Bayou Classic is going to probably be 70,000 this year. Now, the only thing that I'm reading about this economic with this hyperinflation. Man, they saying the prices are going out of control. They got to get a hold of this gas. It's terrible. I was listening to y'all I think it was last week. Some people were saying that the prices need to go up, guys. Hey, they are going up. Because everything is going up in this country. We are under hyperinflation.
Yeah.
And I do think it will affect our attendance. Because, man, you're going to have to almost spend a fortune on this gas.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the big games, I think people are going to take their hit. But
I think they will too. I agree with you.
Yeah, like for the Bayou Classic, I think they'll carpool. They need to.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it will be, 60, maybe 70,000, might be a sellout.
Now
you're talking about Hugh Jackson versus Coach Dooley in New Orleans, and Coach Dooley is from New Orleans.
I wonder is Jackson State fans gonna travel to the Daytona Beach for the Bethune-Cookman game? That could be like a little vacation.
I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning, and he said that airport in Orlando was a zoo this week. He's telling me that the airport, and we having some major problems here in Atlanta with the airport. They're canceling a lot of flights. People are having to stay over 2 and 3 days. This airline industry right now is going through something.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Daytona Beach is that's a destination that that a lot of fans will want to go to and have a vacation there?
Well, let me just say this. I grew up going to Daytona Beach. Man, it's beautiful down there.
I've never been.
Campus is maybe a mile or two from the beach. I mean, it's beautiful down there.
Oh, okay. So I've never been, so I don't know how the city is.
You need to go. And they got the beautiful hotels that you get in your hotel room and you can look out over the ocean. And what's supposed to be like 26 to 30 miles of beach. Hey, it's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, that should be a game that people want to go to then.
Oh yeah, I mean Daytona Beach is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful beaches in America.
Mm.
It's really beautiful down there.
Okay. So UAPB is the question mark for me when it comes to the SWAC, because it's like I don't know. They're not doing anything. I don't see anything from them on social media. I barely see anything from them on social media. It seems like they just content with what they got.
Well, now let me say this: the year that they did the spring stuff, when the SWAC played in the spring, I was impressed with what Doc Gamble put together. He lost the SWAC championship game in Jackson to Alabama A&M, and like you said, ever since then, it's like their program has been dead. He's got to go out and recruit. Right now, with this transfer portal, that's a friend of HBCU football. I don't understand why he's not bringing kids in. Okay. The transfer portal takes away the.
Hold up. D Brown said I don't look. Oh, yes, I do. I look every day. If you go to my Twitter, I'm always posting anything that any SWAC school posts. I check every school's Twitter and social media every day so I can post their content. I go out my way to post all SWAC schools content. You go look at my Twitter, go to SWAC Buzz on Twitter, you will see me posting every school content that they drop on their Twitter pages. And I make that a point to do that because I'm trying to highlight HBCUs, especially the SWAC. Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Hey, Blue, call in. You know we want to talk to you. Call in, Blue.
He say he's in a car with a lot of people and it's a lot of noise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's all good, Blue. But, appreciate you tuning in.
I just want to. Doc is on the hot seat. Doc has got to produce. If Doc doesn't produce this year, oof. But I like Doc. I like Doc. I like what he put together. I think Doc's out of the Midwest. I think he's from Cincinnati or somewhere. But Doc does a good job. And hey, listen, Michael Davis said gas prices should go down soon. That's what they're praying for, Mike. But let me tell you something. The economists are disagreeing with you. I read a lot of these economists. Man, they saying that these prices are going to. Now, the other thing that the economists are saying that we definitely are watching, they're saying that we're going to have food shortages, especially in the north, and that the people in the north, a lot of them need to pack up their bags and go south because the south is a food-producing area. So that's another thing we're looking at. Because now, you know, there are people that are saying that by September, October, we're going to be looking at $7 and $8, possibly $10 a gallon.
Oh, so, Lord. And I just got an SUV not too long ago, too. So it's been killing me.
So how much does it cost you to fill up?
It's like $100.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like $100.
And you're right, Lauren Henry, you're right. That's what it is. It's those Wall Street speculators. They always take advantage. And what they're taking advantage of now is that war over in Ukraine. That's what they do. Hey, Leonard Chat, I like that. 439 in Central Florida. Now, is that at Costco's or is that at BJ's or Walmart? Where's that? Ooh, 439 in Central Florida. That's good. Because that's right. You know what? Florida doesn't have state taxes. Isn't that right? Florida doesn't have state taxes, right?
Florida and Texas, they don't have state taxes.
Yeah, they don't have state taxes. Yeah, because everybody loves that Texas economy. Yeah. I saw that. Bryson Branford said the Bayou Classic kickoff was moved from 4 p.m. to 1 p.m., so that means it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Blue Blood,
I saw that.
Blue Blood said he paid $125 to fill up.
Whoa. So what are you, Blue Blood? Are you in a SUV? That's right.
SUV.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I'm telling you, they're saying that it's going to get worse come September and October. I'm telling you, they're saying that the other problem is we're going to have food shortages, especially in the north. Because I'm going in the stores right now, and guess what, guys? It's bare walls. I'm talking about I'm going into Publix, I'm going into Kroger, Walmart, and I'm seeing bare walls.
Tara, where you at where it costs $10 a gallon? She said she paid $10 a gallon?
Now, you know, in California, they paying between 8 and 10 in certain parts of California.
Lord. Oh, I couldn't even imagine.
One time in California it was $9 plus.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I had to give me a bike.
Well, listen, Diamond. Diamond, I'm a history teacher. You're absolutely right. This country was set up for rich white men. You got to remember now that when this country was set up, a white woman was considered the property of her husband. If you were not a slaveholder or a landholder, you could not vote in America when it was initially started. They gave white men the right to vote, I think, under Andrew Jackson around 1840. But you're absolutely right, Diamond. You're right.
It's your boy out said get a bus pass. You're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to do something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering, how will the economy affect college football, especially SWAC and MEAC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because if you $125, if you go from Mississippi, or you go from Mississippi to Daytona Beach, that's what, 3 or 4 fill-ups, right? How many fill-ups is that?
Yeah, probably like 3. Probably gonna do like
Yeah.
3. Cause I know like.
So we're talking $400. What is that? $400 to go from Jackson to Daytona?
Yeah.
How many fill-ups is that?
Probably about 3. I mean, cause you should get like 4 hours.
Hey, Ruben, I never had no confidence in this guy right here, Daryl Middleton. This guy done been. He went to Alabama A&M. He left.
Yeah.
I see where you say he went to Jackson State. He left. You know, with them kind of guys like that, you can't depend on them.
Yeah.
I know he's 6'7" and 305 and all that, but let me tell you something. When the pro scouts see this, they're gonna close the book on him. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna close the book on him. He's hurting himself. He's not hurting Jackson. He's hurting himself.
Yeah, because when he first committed, he said, he put up a post saying that you know, I just have to do what's best. He said something in the light where he wasn't fully committed, and I was like, how you gonna post that right after you done got all this attention from committed to Jackson State? Like, that's crazy.
See, them guys like that, he's double-minded. That means that he can't make up his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, hopefully he will correct that, because there's going to come a time in his life, you can't have that double-minded stuff, you know. So, like I said, he didn't hurt Jackson State. He hurt himself. Because if he's thinking about going to the NFL, they track that kind of stuff.
I think
they track off-the-field stuff, too.
Did somebody say he's going to Tennessee State? Trying to go to Tennessee State?
Well, he's from Tennessee. He's from a little small town in Tennessee.
That's what I heard. We got a call. Let's see who this is. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
How you doing, SWAC Buzz? It's LT, man. Calling out Dallas, Texas.
What's going on out there in Dallas?
Oh, man, hot.
What you got for me?
How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, sir. Yeah, man, I'm new to this to your channel, bro. I've been subbed to you for probably about a month now, man. I've been, you know, soaking in all the knowledge you've been putting out, you and Mr. Ford, and all the other SWAC conference football channels and whatnot. And I'm actually new to SWAC, and to be honest, man, I hate to say it, I'm ashamed, you know what I'm saying, to say it, but I'm new to the SWAC and, you know, HBCU football, which I always knew about HBCU football, but, you know, being like every other kid that grew up, you know, especially in Dallas, man, which is major football country, you know, I've been hooked on nothing but PWI football, man. Yeah, as far as like watching it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But this year I didn't, you know, promise myself that I'm not giving no more PWI my attention and my views, man. I'm watching all SWAC football, all HBCU football this year, man. Yes. And especially because of what Deion is doing, man, he got me fired up as a football fan of what's going on out there in Jackson. You know, when I really should be a Texas Southern fan, but man, I'm in love with Deion and what he got going on down there, man. And and you know, and if to be honest, if I was going to be a real HBCU, had a real HBCU team, it probably would be Grambling, because that's what we always seen around here with the Grambling Prairie View game. Those are always the big games as far as HBCU out here in Dallas. But man, yeah, man, and I'm planning on getting me a ticket to that Texas Southern and Jackson State game, man, the Kent State game when they come to Houston, man.
Okay.
I got a couple of family members. I'm hooking them up and putting them, you know, filling them up full of information on what's going on with the HBCU football and all that right now, man. And I'm just excited, man. I can't wait until the season starts, man. And I give a whole lot of thanks to SWAC Buzz, you know what I mean, for giving us the opportunity to get the knowledge that Mr. Ford is putting out every day, man. And I sure appreciate the knowledge that you're carrying around, man. I'll give you your flowers now. You know what I mean?
It's two things I want you to do. Okay? The first thing, I want you and all the people on this chat and on this line, I need y'all to call the commissioner of the SWAC and let him know it is imperative that we get a SWAC channel, or that we get a SWAC network that is the equivalent of the SEC network or the ACC network. The second thing I want you to do, and to all the people on this line that are listening, I need you to call Mr. McClellan and let him know we got to have better football officiating than we had last year, because last year the best SWAC officiated game was that game at the Celebration Bowl. That was the best officiated game. We've got to have that kind of officiating every game. So I need everybody either email, call, write, but you got to let that commissioner know. We got to have a SWAC network. And number two, we got to have the best officiating in FCS. We cannot have that incompetence that we had last year. Like I tell everybody, the best officiated SWAC game was the Celebration Bowl. We want all of our games officiated like that. Now, do that for me, okay?
Yeah. I got you, man. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to get on that. And you know what? And I think they should, like the network, that SWAC network, I think it should be on FS1 or something like that, man. Yeah. Where they have all the little college channels and stuff.
Yeah, and you know, we got TBS here in Atlanta. I would love for it to be on TBS or wherever, but we got to have that SWAC network. We got to have it. We got to have it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they need that bad, man. And I also wanted to, man, I wish that we had somebody I guess like a Deion Thatcher or something like that. You know, because I'm originally born, and my family is born. I was raised in Dallas, but my family originally from Oklahoma. I wish that we had somebody, you know what I mean, of that stature that can upraise Langston University, man, because, you know, Langston, you know, right now, to be honest, you don't speak my friends, but Langston is shit right now, man. You know what I mean? And it's don't nobody want to go there, and, you know, their graduation rate is super low, and they, you know, every time I look at their football team, they not doing so good, you know, and I wish that Langston would have had the opportunity to blow up, man.
Langston, an original member of the SWAC, if you go back and look at the old days in the SWAC, Langston is one of the original members, isn't it?
I wouldn't have no idea.
That was way before my time.
I need to go back and look it up, but I think the school that's in Marshall, Texas, that they made that movie about the Great Debaters. Remember that movie, The Great Debaters?
I heard of it, but I haven't even seen it, man. I didn't know that they made one about it.
It was called Wiley College. Wiley College was in the SWAC at one time.
Oh, okay, Wiley College. Okay, yeah, I know Wiley.
Yeah, they were in the SWAC at one time. But I'm hearing you. You're correct. We gotta help out Langston.
Yeah, Langston was in the SWAC from 1931 to 1957.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, they need to come back, man. They need to come back, man. Because Langston, they need a whole lot of help, man. And because I'm going to tell you right now, you know, being from Oklahoma, you know, and living there for a good amount of years, man, I believe that if Langston got to like a stage where Jackson State and Grambling them doing white folks in Oklahoma City would burn Langston to the ground, man. They would never let Langston steal the money and then them black kids from OU and OSU and Tulsa, because they don't have no NFL team. All they got is them schools right there, and they gain so much money from them PWIs, man. They will burn Langston to the ground before they ever let it get it that big in Langston, man. They'll never let that happen. Especially them white folks with Stillwater and all that, man.
And listen, people have forgotten this, but back in the 40s, there was a coach. He was a legendary coach. He was one of the best coaches in America, but they didn't play him like that because he was a black coach and was HBCU. But if y'all ever get a chance, go back and read about this guy named Zip Gales. Zip was a graduate of Morehouse College, but he made his name at Langston. He had one of the best basketball programs in the country, and he would always challenge whoever was the white team that won the NCAA. He would always challenge them. Of course, they wouldn't accept it. But go back and look up this guy, Zip Gales. He was Zip Gales. He was a big-time college coach at Langston. I think this was back in the 40s. He became nationally known because he challenged Oklahoma State to a basketball game.
Yeah, we got another call, so I'm gonna get this other call. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, and one more HBCU, man, I want to put out there, and they definitely need a football team. If they had a football team, Dallas would be jumping. It's all Queen HBCU, man. All Queen in Dallas.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think Paul Quinn was in the SWAC from 1920 to 1929.
We need Paul Quinn back, SWAC. We need Paul Quinn back, man. Dallas would get all of the Dallas players, man. Paul Quinn would, man, because it's right at Holly Hills and Oak Cliff, man.
Okay. But I got this other
But all
call.
right, brother,
I
I'm gonna
appreciate you.
let y'all go, man.
All right, thank
Appreciate you, Swag Bud.
Thank you. Have a good evening now.
All right. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I was just listening to you, Swag Buzz. Mr. Ford is exactly right. Wiley and Langston was two of the original SWAC members.
Yeah.
And that's really basically all I had to say. But he's exactly right. They were in the SWAC before. They were there even before Jackson State, Alabama, and
that's right. Now let me say this to you: the guy who they were portraying in that movie, The Great Debaters, I can't remember, Professor Tolson. Remember? Did you see the movie The Great Debaters?
No, I'm afraid I did.
Yeah,
okay, The Great
did.
Debaters was about the debate team at Wiley College. But what they didn't tell you was, Professor Tolson was also the football coach at
I
Wiley
remember.
College.
Yes, I did. You're exactly right. Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
He was the football coach. Denzel Washington played his role. He played as Professor Tolson. Forrest Whitaker played. He was the PhD. That his son was the leader of CORE, I believe. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. Yeah. But the son was a junior. The son was that 14-year-old boy that was the debater.
Right.
Yeah. All of that was true now. That was factual. In 1935, Wiley College defeated the University of Southern California. They were the debate champions for America, for the colleges and universities.
Exactly. I remember. Now you brought it back, Mr. Ford. You're exactly right. But I'm not going to hold up you guys' time, but I was just sitting here and I kind of listened to you all. I listened to all of the history you're giving out, so I am a kind of a history buff too. But
just put it in there. It's James Farmer. That's right. It was James Farmer Sr., James Farmer Jr. James Farmer Sr. was actually a graduate of Bethune-Cookman.
Right. Okay. But I appreciate listening, man. I'm going to get off this line and let you all carry on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the call.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Hold on. Yeah, and Prairie View is actually the oldest member in the SWAC. They was one of the original members.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
Yeah, so I could say the original members for y'all: Samuel Houston College, Paul Quinn College, Bishop College, Texas College, Wiley College, and Langston. Prairie View.
Yeah.
So those.
Let me say this, right, Buzz. It's really it's bad. Prairie View should be a perennial winner in the SWAC.
They should.
Because it's in their history. When they had what was that coach's name? He was awesome. He was from Georgia. He was from Griffin, Georgia. He went to Morris Brown. Billy Nix. They see during the 40s and the 50s and even up until about 65, that man Billy Nix, he and the guy at Southern, Arnett Mumford, they battled for the SWAC championship every year. Whoever would win the SWAC championship would go down to Miami and play Florida A&M. Now that guy Billy Nix, he gave Coach Gaither a hard time. That guy Billy Nix was awesome. He was something else at Prairie View. That's why I said Prairie View should be a perennial winner. They've done it before and they can do it now. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is, but they should be a perennial winner in the SWAC.
Yeah, they have some of the best facilities in the SWAC. So and then you're in Texas. Yeah. So you would think, they'll be one of the best teams in Texas. I mean, in the SWAC, but I think they need to do something about their program. I mean, they were good last year when they had Dooley, but they lost Dooley. Right. So we'll see what they do this year.
You're right. Somebody said DJ 85, this 8 the 40s. You're right, but let me tell you something. If they did it in the 40s, they can do it now. They can do it now. Because I'm going to tell you something. That guy, Billy Nix, he had Choo-Choo Brackens. Let me tell you something. Choo-Choo Brackens was his quarterback. What's lost in history. He went to the NFL. He went to the Green Bay Packers. He was a black quarterback in the early 50s. His name was Choo-Choo Brackens. Look him up. He played for Prairie View. Played for Billy Nix. Yeah, and went to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. Well, I'm going to end the show in a bit, Mr. Ford. You got anything you want to tell everybody, all the listeners?
Like I said, guys, just just a quick thing. If you could, stockpile food. Stockpile food. I do believe when the economists say that we're going to have this food shortage, stockpile food.
Okay.
Canned goods, whatever you can, stockpile it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Miss Ford. You know, you're always welcome. You're always giving good history.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Yeah, and I appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Well, y'all, that was another show, another Sunday, another show. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Let's see what we looking at on the likes. Let's see if y'all really was messing with the show today. I haven't looked at the likes in a minute. Let's see. Got the 137. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I appreciate y'all liking the channel and subscribing if y'all haven't subscribed yet. Oh, he was saying call the SWAC office. If you Google the SWAC office number, you'll see the number. It's a 205 number because the office is in Alabama. So all you gotta do is just Google SWAC office, and then you'll be able to see the number. Yeah, tell them what y'all want, man. Give me just a second. Hold on. Yeah, if y'all want change, that's how you do it. You have to call the SWAC office, let them know. Let the commissioner know, because you know he's listening to the fans. Don't think that they're not listening. They listen to what's going on out here. So, but like I said, I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know, like I said, if you're new here to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so we can, you know, do more to get our HBCU platforms out here. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to collabing with a lot of other platforms during the season. We'll be doing things. So, you know, we're all doing this to, you know, uplift HBCU. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to do. But like I said, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gone.